Okay, this is one of our first videos. This is going to be on keyword research. In general, I'm going to talk about trending and different things like that. Uh, in general, you pretty much just have to use your head, think outside the box, do whatever strikes you. We're looking for keywords that are popular now, not keywords that are popular, 6 months ago or a year ago or 10 years ago, which, keyword tools tend to be great at showing us. Trending is popular because we get to know, we get to figure out what keywords are going to be popular in the future. And that's the power because if you can find a keyword that isn't around yet, and that or a movie that is coming out or some form of keyword that will exist 6 months from now but doesn't exist and has no competition, and you can start building content for that keyword, then you're really going to have a head start in this game. So we're at one of my costume blogs here, Neptune's Costume Kingdom. This is just one of the posts, Wonder Woman costumes. This is actually auto content, pulling in from numerous sources. Anyway, if you want to do some research in costumes, we're going to use this as sort of a primer, and I'm going to use the example of group costumes. So let's go ahead and get started here. Now this is one of the first tools that I use. This is Google Trends. You can see that we've searched for group costume. Now Google Trend gives us a nice breakdown graph of the last however many years. As we can see that it tends to spike, and we can both imagine that this is probably right around September and October that it's spiking. This is pretty out there as far as trending. This is, you're not going to tend to find results exactly like this because obviously Halloween, is a special case. But as you can see, Halloween is improving, and we'll expect it to probably hit around here this year, which means last year they did 7 billion. This is a $7 billion graph right here. I'd imagine it 8 or 9 billion this year up here. Well, at least I can hope, being in the affiliate game with Halloween products. Here's another graph. This is looking at a specific search term. Take for Michael Jackson costumes. Now we can imagine why this is spiking here. Michael Jackson passed away, the king of pop, and obviously a lot of people are going to parties and tributes, and this Halloween is going to be big for Michael Jackson costumes. So if you're searching for costume ideas and trending ideas, this is a possible idea. Think Michael Jackson Thriller outfit, Michael Jackson Thriller jacket, Michael Jackson sequin gloves. All of these are probably going to be great posts to make this year, especially if you can throw a nice affiliate ad in there and make it a 10% commission or something off of selling some gloves or a Thriller jacket. So once again, we're going to take, here's another one, Lady Gaga. She's been in the news. The name popped in my head because I was watching the news this morning, and she was on there again. I don't even really know who she is. I just know that she's, a very famous, pop singer, actor, whatever. But as we can see, it gives us a breakdown of what she's been in the news, and it's definitely spiking this year. So I would suspect that if you built a page on Lady Gaga costumes and accessories and fashion, items, that would possibly do very well this year. Here's some more ideas. Now we're actually looking at some of the specific Google tools now, specifically the discussions. And if you notice, I'm actually looking at the custom range, and I'm doing last year's Halloween range. So about the 15th to 31st. Now in reality, people are probably going to be buying their products closer, at least more than 2 weeks in advance, I would think. So I'd probably take this down to maybe the 1st, and then rerun that search. And that'll give us an idea of what articles were showing up in the first, like this, Instructables, Halloween is coming. If this is a popular page, we can kind of get an idea of what they were doing that year to get ready for Halloween. And as we can see, they were promoting a lot of the trendy costumes last year. Like this Tron's coming out. Iron Man came out this year. All those are going to be great and they're going to be big. Star Wars is always big, but if you can go long tail like Star Wars Premium or Star Wars Supreme Costume Kids, something like that, you can possibly even dominate a Star Wars category, which is been around for a long time. Werewolf, probably going to be big this year. There was a, the new Wolfman movie out this year. Here's another one. This we're looking at related search terms here, and that's pretty simple. You just basically, there was a button here that you just hit related searches, and this is what it shows us. And the search was costume ideas, and so what it's doing is, say for example, you wanted to create an article to attract, Halloween people, homemade Halloween costume ideas, unique costume ideas, funny costume ideas, great one. Now I would say if you really want to target it and get some more long tail, maybe your title should be funny costume ideas, and then do a little bracket or however you like to break your title up, and then funny costume ideas for 2010, because that's going to get a long tail search specific to this year, and that does get searched for, so and that could be used for all of these. And once again, we're looking at some specific trendings. This was one of the searches that was off of the hot searches from Google Trends. If you don't know how to find that, just go up to your Google and type in hot searches Google Trends, and you'll find this. Once again, I did a search range, changed the date, that way I could see what people were searching for within the search range. So right around Halloween time, as you can see, people are looking for Frankenstein. Here's an interesting one, little buddy tracker. That must be some sort of kid tracking device. You can understand how that's important. Your kids are going out. It's late at night. People lose kids all the time, I'm sure, during Halloween. And, fear is a big selling point. If you can make someone afraid that they're going to lose their child, you can likely sell 100,000 of these. That is, if you can get the traffic. So, anyway, pumpkin carving designs. This is another good one. Say, for example, there's trends in this as well. So, Avatar, Iron Man, pumpkin carving designs, those types of things. They're going to be big this year. If you wanted to create a new article on pumpkin carving design templates, and make sure that you include the keywords for some of the newest trends like Toy Story pumpkin carving designs, or it may not bring in a lot of hits, but it's likely going to bring in a good portion, at least enough to probably make you a little money. More ideas, more trending. I'm just kind of banging through here real quick. I can always create some more videos on these in the future and kind of talk about them more. Here's one of the newer ones. It's a great idea. Google came up with it's the Wonder Wheel, and it's in your sidebar here. When you go to web search, there's a little drop down you might have to click, and it's right here under Wonder Wheel. This is great, especially for coming up with similar ideas and category names and so on and so forth. So we'll take Halloween costume ideas, and then we'll branch down. Then it's going to give us ideas based off of Halloween costume ideas. So toddler Halloween costume ideas, couples Halloween costume ideas, homemade costumes. Let's go one more. Couples. So celebrity couples. So I mean, these are long tail searches. Okay, if you wanted to create an article based off of one of these, you could likely dominate the search. The longer the tail, the less the competition is normally. And of course, you'd want to probably, if you wanted to go through the effort of writing an article based around this long tail keyword, you might want to use a program like Keyword Samurai or Micro Niche Finder, Keyword Elite, or whatever your choice in keyword tools is, to make sure the competition is doable. Make sure that you can get in there on first page, because as we all know, 90% of the searches are right there on the first page, and if you can't get on the first page, don't bother. So this is a great idea. I recommend you use it. I use it. Let's move on. Okay, so Google Insights. Just another one of those. This is one that isn't meant to necessarily trend. It's more of a insights. So insights into the searches that people are performing. You can compare search volume patterns across specific regions, categories, time frames, properties. This could be powerful. I mean, let's think about how we might be able to use it here. So group costume. Let's go time range, and let's just go from 2009 and see what we get here. Wow, this is interesting. That's pretty obvious. But you know, one thing this does give us is a good time frame. So, you know, if you're going to start a PPC campaign or even start building content for Halloween, you know, the good time to start would probably be right about here. You know, you want to give yourself time to get your site indexed in Google and make sure that, you know, if it requires some backlinks and some building to gain authority, you know, make sure you get on that first page. You might actually want to start all the way back here or even a little sooner. Preparation is, you know, part of this game. You need to think ahead. If you start building content right here, you know, the people that built the content over here are going to rank, and you're going to find yourself losing money. Okay, this is Google Alerts. This is just another way to kind of gather more information. So for example, if you want to get information on costume ideas, Google Alerts will email you updates on relevant search results based on your query. So if you'd like to monitor, you know, what blog updates, news stories are coming in, competition in your industry, celebrities or events, you can imagine if you run a website that is based around costumes and Halloween costumes, it might be a good idea to if you're, like, for example, if your main theme of your costume site is costume ideas, which there's quite a few out there, that all they do is build articles on costume ideas. So they would likely want to do this. And you can choose more, 20 results, 50 results. You can also choose your frequency, as it happens. Talk about a lot of emails in your inbox if the category is big. Here's another one. This is trendistic.com. It's trendistic.com if you want to check it out. For example, costume. Not a lot here, but if we were to type in something like Sharona, which I just saw on the... Actually, let's look over here. Chuck Norris. Why not? Whoa, something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened. Chuck Norris doesn't need a Twitter. Twitter needs... Okay. Who knows? Anyway, you can find out a lot about your current category by seeing what's going through Twitter, seeing what people are talking about on Twitter. Twitter's great for trending because, I mean, take for example if you're a sports writer, and there's a big game, you can basically just let Twitter decide what you want to write about by, letting the spikes determine what. For example, here's another example. In the Emmys, an actor falls or wears something amazing. You can kind of look at Twitter and see what people are talking about, see if they're talking about the shoes someone's wearing or the dress, and anyway, it's just a good tool to kind of get ideas of what you should be writing about, what's popular. This is another one. This is eBay Pulse. This is used to get basically a daily snapshot of current trends on eBay. What is hot on eBay. And obviously right now the iPod Touch, the iPhone, the Xbox 360, Coach handbags, any one of these would be a great item to sell. For example, if you can find long tail keywords around iPod Touch or long tails around iPod, if you're a big power player, you can go straight for those iPod Touch or straight for the iPod keyword. But obviously the keyword competition there is going to be so heavy that, if you're not a power player, you really need to be thinking a little deeper into those long tail keywords.